One of the best all-ages comics from last year starts its new monthly run this week. There's a brand new graphic novel that skews as young as 6 years old. There are 4 go-to titles out this week, a classic monster magazine, and 2 books that are great for your reluctant readers. All that and more on the podcast.
Hey, and welcome to Daddy Mojo. It's the podcast where we'll talk about parenting, all-age comic books, toys, and more. Now, here's your host, Trey Burley.
Hey there, it's Trey with Daddy Mojo. Thanks for checking out the podcast this week for the new all-ages comics for the week of January 10, 2018. The reluctant reader. You know who you are. And, actually, moms and dads, you know if your kid is a reluctant reader. They can read, but they just haven't found the thing that they want to read. One of the great books, and he quit writing these books, Captain Underpants, those books, that's what got our 8-year-old, our now 8-year-old, to really hunker down and start reading. When he was almost 6, just turned 6, and when he turned about 6.5, he just, boom, turned it on and read all of those Captain Underpants books in no time at all. Reluctant readers. There's a new book out there this week for you. It's Hotel Transylvania. This property, kids love this movie. I was not a fan of the movie the first time I saw it. I saw it again over the holidays, and it's not that bad. More importantly, kids love it. They were rolling on the floor with laughter, and that's exactly what this new original graphic novel will do for them, except it will also give them some vocabulary to read. It's Hotel Transylvania, Volume 1, Cockyland Catastrophe. And it's from Papercutz. Papercutz, a massive reseller of books. If you go to any elementary school library, you'll see untold books from Papercutz. Papercutz with a Z. So while off the cuff they may not sound like a name you hear that much, they're everywhere in children's publishing, and they're one of the world's largest, as a matter of fact. This graphic novel, it's got the characters from the movies that the kids like. The kids. I feel really old all of a sudden. But they'll like it. They really will. It's going to retail for anywhere between $8 and $13, so look around. Get the best price. What's happening? This is the debut Hotel Transylvania graphic novel. There are going to be more of them. And in theory, this could also be a great monthly series. I really think it could, because the characters that you see on screen translate very well into a comic monthly series. Just an idea. So if you have a reluctant reader, I'm going to say aged 6 to 9, this is going to be perfect for them. It's from Papercutz. It's Hotel Transylvania, Volume 1, Cockyland Catastrophe, and it'll be at your bookstores this week. For the tween girls, tween girls being upper elementary through middle school, these 2 monthly comics are great, and they're not specifically for girls, but they're definitely going to skew more towards girls than boys. The latter one for sure. First up, Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, issue number 28. It's out this week. Marvel has it as rated T. I don't know why. It could be because of the vocabulary, but the story, the content, every issue that we've seen, it has some irreverent humor. It's got some off-the-cuff and really kind of left-of-center superhero jokes. Obviously, a squirrel, not really a go-to superhero. That's kind of the tongue-in-cheek joke about this series, but it's really well-written. It's very entertaining, and kids who are looking for a superhero but aren't the kind of superhero in tights thing, they're going to really dig this. It's a great monthly series. Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, issue 28. It's out this week from Marvel Comics. Retails for $3.99. In that same category is this one. It's Ms. Marvel. Ms. Marvel. M-S-M-A-R-V-E-L. I've always had trouble saying M-S. Was it M-I-S-S or M-R-S or M-S? I don't know what the difference is. And I guess as a kid, that still haunts me today. Number 26 from Ms. Marvel is out this week. Again, rated teen plus, technically by Marvel. Every issue I've seen from the series, though, going to be A-OK for middle schoolers. It's got enough superhero action that's going to keep kids, it's going to hook kids in. That's going to be like the lure that will bring them into the series. But it also has some real-life lessons, real-life kind of societal talk that kids will learn more from than the comic book itself. Fabulous monthly series, everyone's a can't miss. Miss Marvel 26 out this week. While we're at it, these two go-to titles for boys, every issue, fabulous. Talk about them every month they come out because they're awesome. SpongeBob Comics number 76 is out this week. Every issue of this comic is fabulous. $3.99. Pick up any one. Your kids will love it. You will love it. And it's great. Ditto Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Issue 89. It's out this week. Bonus for Scooby-Doo. It's only $2.99. And it's great. In Scooby-Doo issue 89, they have a killer pizza attack. I bet Scooby and Shaggy shave the day. Rather save the day. And probably eat some pizza. Great monthly series, both of those. Pick up any one, and you're rocking the house, and your kids will be happy. Or you'll be happy, because you're reading, or your kids will be reading. Atlas and Axis. This is a fun graphic novel that we haven't read. Disclosure, we haven't read it. But it looks really great. It's a French comic originally, and it's been translated into English. It has the same vibe. It looks very European when you look at it, because it involves explorers, fantasy, but it also has some anthropomorphic animals. And I love anthropomorphic animals. Love them. It's Paws, Atlas and Axis. It's a new graphic novel, and the art in this looks great. It's detailed, realistic art, but it's also very silly because you've got two dogs who are essentially explorers, and they run amok and they find stinky cheese and other things. Great fun. Who's going to like this? I'll say ages 7 and up. It is going to have some reading that maybe those younger 7-year-olds might have trouble with, but the graphics and the funny illustrations will push them through it and make them want to see this through. And I look forward to checking this out in comic book stores this week. It's Atlas and Axis from Powell, from the French side of things. From Statix Press, Statix Press. I say that just because it may be more difficult to find, and you'll have to go to comic book stores to get it, or look through it on Amazon or other places like that. This came out last week, and we kind of missed it on this one. Great people involved with this comic, and it fills a void. It is Cosmo. Cosmo from Archie Comics. Who is involved in this? We've got the writer, Ian Flynn, and Tracy Yardley is the artist. Tracy has done some fabulous stuff with Sonic, and is kind of an all-ages comic legend. If there were an all-ages comic Hall of Fame, he would be in there because of his work with Sonic and other properties. And Cosmo is actually kind of he's an older Archie character, but he's so old that younger readers won't know he ever existed. And some parents may be like, really? I don't remember this character at all. But it's an action series that is based in space, and that is what is so great about this, is that it fills that void of, it's an all-ages title that has real action, that's science fiction based in outer space, that any kid is going to like. The reading's going to be on par with late first grade to second grade. They'll be able to read the vast majority of the words. They'll laugh at the humor. They'll love the action. And they will love the characters and the creativity. Because you've got aliens in there. Cosmo's an alien. His Martian friends. And the scared Earthlings. Fabulous title. And if you're looking for something original, check it out. It's Cosmo from Archie Comics. So you say you want a graphic novel, an original graphic novel, that skews even younger? Well, this is your week. Hammy and Gerbee, Mummies at the Museum. Really, stop what you're doing. Go online, look for this book, or just look at the post if you haven't already on daddymojo.net. And the title and the cover to it is so cute. You've got a hamster and a gerbil. Well, I guess the hamster is kind of wrapped up in mummy tape, saying mummy, M-U-M-M-Y, with the gerbil running away saying mommy. Ridiculously cute. Great for ages 6 and up. It's an original graphic novel. Look for it online. It'll cost anywhere between $7.50 and up. Maybe a little more if you buy retail. But really great stuff. I just look at this and get lost in the cuteness that can be this book. It is Hammy and Gerbee, Mummies at the Museum. And this looks to be the first in a number of Hammy and Gerbee books. Hammy's a hamster and Gerbee's a gerbil. They're best friends, in case you haven't guessed by the title. Ridiculously cute, and I encourage you to check it out if you have a kindergartner who likes to, or who you want them to read, or a first grader who you're trying to get them to read. This is fun, goofy stuff that they will love. When I was a kid, back in my day, I loved this. And the new issue is out this week. It's Famous Monsters. It retails for $9.99, so it's not cheap, and it involves a lot of reading. But when I was in 8th or 9th grade, I loved this magazine more than gym class, and it's still being printed today. The issue 283 is out this week, and it's all about Star Wars, all about The Last Jedi, all about an exclusive interview with, who's that guy? Luke Skywalker, some guy like that, Mark Hamill, that guy, yeah. Again, let's move past the old guard of Star Wars. That's a little slight editorial break. Let's move past and get on with Rey and her story. That's my soapbox, and I'm off it. But this magazine is great. It has lots of behind-the-scene pictures, lots of great interviews, but it's a fan magazine. So you've got to be able to read it, and you've got to really like science fiction. And don't be put off by the title of the magazine, Famous Monsters. It's not too gory. It's not like Fangora, if you old school moms and dads remember that magazine. It's not graphic, how do I make my eyeball ooze blood that's fake. It's not that. This is more about science fiction and classic monsters. Fabulous magazine. That is expensive, $9.99. Also in this issue, you've got an older interview with Martin Landau. He recently passed away, about a year and a half ago? The actor from Ed Wood and Space 1999, other classic things. There's also a feature about Flash Gordon, the movie. So it's a fans magazine. Famous Monsters, 283, out this week. A comic book that might fly under your radar, but it shouldn't, is this one. Star Wars. It's been rebooted from IDW. It's got a monthly series, Star Wars Adventures, out monthly. It's so popular that they've kind of spurned a sister, if you will, called Star Wars Forces of Destiny. This is going to be a 6-issue run, with each issue spotlighting a different character in the Star Wars canon. The first issue in this miniseries is about Rey. And that's great, because more Rey. I just said that a couple minutes ago, but there you are. You're also going to have issues that feature Leia, Padme, Ahsoka, and Hera, as well as Rose and Paige from The Last Jedi. And this is a comic book, so it's $3.99. But Star Wars, the universe of Star Wars, is also branching out into books. And this came out about a month and a half ago. We're going to review it on the site here this week. It's a hardback book that's written in a graphic novel format. It's called Star Wars Forces of Destiny, Tales of Hope and Courage. And it's narrated by Maz Kanata. And it's drawn like a graphic novel. And there are some great illustrations. And it's written text-wise in kind of like a Wimpy Kid format, where it's almost on a notebook template, but it's not, because the text is different sizes, some different colors, and it's neat. It's going to pull in a little bit to those reluctant readers, and it's a book that retails for $11.99, hardback, but it's about 90 pages, so if you're looking for more of a book, check out that. One of the best miniseries, all ages comics miniseries from last year was this one, Mech Cadet Yu. Great stuff. It's been promoted to a new monthly series from Boom Studios, and issue number 5, which is the hello, we're a monthly series announcement from Mech Cadet Yu. It's out this week. Great stuff. It's got kids in monster outfits, kids in robot monsters to fight real monsters, if that makes any sense. And it is beautiful. It's beautifully drawn. The vocabulary in Mech Cadet Yu may be a little too much for kids who are 7, maybe even 8. 9-year-olds should be able to read it and really enjoy it. And this is the kind of comic that our 8-year-old, he's a good reader, but he would like looking at the action and like the humor in it, and that would encourage him to further read and increase his vocabulary. Great comic book. It's Mech Cadet Yu, issue number 5. It's from some fabulous creators, too, from Greg Pak, Takeshi Miyazawa, and Takeshi Miyaza. A graphic novel. This is more of an illustrated book. It's a children's illustrated book, even though it's from First Second Books. And First Second Books usually puts out great graphic novels. This, on the other hand, is a great children's illustrated book. It's called Little Sid. Contrary to its title, it's not about the Sex Pistols. It's about the tiny prince who became Buddha. We're reading it now. We're reading it. It's a children's book, so we read it. And it is really cute. The illustrations in this are very soft, very subtle. And you say to yourself, you know what? I'm not interested in the story of Buddha or anything. But this is a very, very good book. Children's illustrated book. Because it teaches lessons about humility and about what you need and what you don't. Like whenever our kids say, I need that. We're very clear to say, do you need it or do you want it? And 98% of the time, it's a want, not a need. It's Little Sid by Ian Linder, and Xanthe Bouma does the illustrations. I think you'll like it. And it fills a neat little void, because it is a picture book, a children's illustrated book, because there's some gray area between that. Are they a picture book or children's illustrated? It's got enough words in there to where a 9-year-old is easily going to be able to read it. However, it's simple enough to where if you read it to a 4-year-old, they will want to follow along with it because of the illustrations and because of the lessons it teaches. We are on social media also. It's at Daddy Mojo across all channels. Please hook up with us and share anything that you're reading for the All Ages Comics. Be sure to tag them, hashtag NCBD. You can tag us also at Daddy Mojo, and we will respond accordingly.
Thanks for listening to Daddy Mojo. Be sure to tune in next time. For more information on any of the things we talked about today, just check out the website, daddymojo.net, or hit us up at Daddy Mojo on social media.